Here's a dealio, people, watchers of the world. I and my friend. We don't know. I've already messed it up. I don't even know. Nobody knows who we are. I, Dastardly Mackleton, the Mac Daddy, the Mac Dastardly, Mac, and my friend Kirin
The fuck
has has played yet another Final Fantasy game.
Oh
The
my
one
God.
that is called the two Final Fantasy 2
Final
1.
Fantasy 2, The Suffering. It's gonna be a negative video, man.
That's my biggest worry, is that this is just going to devolve into like a hatred circle jerk, basically.
I mean, maybe. Like I said, it very much is mostly gonna be a negative.
Would you like to add to this intro, because I just stole the entire thing, basically?
I mean, that was more or less, yeah, just your Mac, I'm Kirin. Negative video incoming. You know?
All right. Well then, like before, let's start with the story and then immediately get off rails.
Oh,
Why don't you tell us the story, basically, and try to not be biased while you do it.
no, see, I give him the little bit of a benefit of the doubt. Partly due to, we are kind of playing the pixel remaster for this one as well. So I'm pretty sure, like, if there was any, like, story additions or anything from the, what was it?
The GBA release?
Yeah, I think it was, yeah. So if there was any story additions there, then honestly, I don't know.
My friend gave me kind of sort of cliff notes on the story, kind of. I don't know. It's like you play. Let me see. You play as, what was it? What do you say? You play as pretty much all the side characters, like all the, like, like Paul the thief or whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember what they were trying to do. Never mind. Skip this part.
Wait, no, there was, like, added more story or something?
Yeah, there's more story, but it's like even the more story part was like
Pointless?
It was like whatever. Because you play with, apparently, technically, Minwoo's the main character. You get him. You get not that's not Paul, is it? It's I think his name is Scott. Is it? And you have to rescue the Joseph, the guy that got crushed by the boulder. And then you have to save Rickard from the worm. I don't know. I don't know. I would like to. I feel like I should have looked this up, but I didn't. I honestly just didn't care to. And also, you had to go through Pandemonium again.
That was the final dungeon?
Yeah.
Oh god. Let's see. GBA and PSP versions. A new story titled Soul of Rebirth. Oh yeah, the 4 party members who died.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, essentially you fight your way through hell.
Oh, that's what's happening. Oh, okay.
That's what I'm getting from just quickly skimming this.
I'm sorry, not the thief, not the thief then. His Scott, the guy who died at the very beginning, gave you the pendant or whatever. Is Gordon's brother. Like, at the very beginning, when you go into that town that's just full of, like, the Imperial army, and you go through the secret wall, and he's like laying in a bed or whatever. Do you remember that part?
Kind of. Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Yeah. It's him that's in your party.
So
not
that's the only story expansion there is, I guess.
for Soul of Rebirth. That's apparently that's what my friend told me. I don't know.
Huh. Okay. Well, yeah, for the most part, yeah, it's just fighting a rebellion against an empire, still very basic, but a little bit more expanded upon than the first one. Like, I do feel like, because, it is another NES game, and it being the pixel remaster of the NES and not like one of the later ones, it's another story that kind of fell flat. It was quite literally go here, go here, go here, go here, go here. And like,
Yeah.
none of it outside of like 3 things really felt connected to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I would say, granted, it was all working towards, the bigger thing like it normally is. It's just, a lot of it just felt like pointless.
I gotta get what you mean, because I for most of the my playthrough, I just was kind of mindlessly going places. I just didn't feel like I didn't know what any town was. They just said, "Hey, go here. Here's a place called Paloom." All right, and you go from Paloom to Poft, and I'm like, what are these names?
Yeah, and then like after every major thing, you have to go back to the freaking settlement, or then at like, I think it's a halfway point of the game,
Yeah.
whenever you get to take back the town or whatever. Maybe it's a
Uh,
little bit after halfway. I'm not sure, but yeah,
yeah.
it's like after everything, go back here and go through these long freaking, like, it was a dungeon, now it's a hub type of stuff, and
Oh.
it's just like, there it feels like there is so much padding. But again, it's an NES game. That's kind of what NES games were. In attempts to be fair, I'm saying it that way.
It really that was one thing that really bugged the heck out of me. If it actually, I would say that's the thing that bugs me the most about the game is like, Final Fantasy One it was a basic start. It was like where it's the blueprint basically. You got the blueprint in front of you, and then Final Fantasy Two just like said, yeah, throw that away.
And
Here's
I mean,
what we're
I
going to
get
do.
it being the second game in the series. They were trying different things, see if this would work. It's kind of like they did with, or Nintendo did with Zelda. You know,
Oh yeah, when Zelda 2, and
Yeah,
I see what you mean.
different style, especially that leveling system. Oh, I
I
hate it. It's a good idea, but it was executed so badly.
hmm So, before we go into mechanics of the game itself, if I could kind of examine a bit of the story.
Mhm.
So I understand that it's an old game, but I'm still going to judge it like any other game. Honestly, I'm just going to judge it because why not? This is the whole point to me.
Yeah.
So the Imperial Army comes in and just is like, yeah, I'm king now. I'm the ruler of this world now. And it's
I mean,
like
it has, like, in-game wise, the war has been going on for a while.
mhm.
It wasn't just, oh, well, this is now happening.
I will say at the very beginning, I, at the very beginning, oh my god, I record, oh my god. So the beginning, they put you in the fight that you're supposed to lose thing, and I was just like, I was like, oh yeah, here we go, here's the fighting, and I was like, everyone attack. 0, no, 0, no, miss. not this. And then they just all one shot you, and it's just like, I'm just like, like, and and here at that point, I have to ask. So did Leon just like fake dying there, like?
No, I believe what happened is, when you guys get defeated, like, I think they, like, took Leon or something like that. I don't know. I
They
really
never,
don't know.
they never answered that. They just kind of, you just meet up with him later on, and he's like, and you're
He is
like,
the Dark Knight.
but
He is the Emperor now.
yeah, it's just like, hey, but why though? And he's just over there like ultimate power, and I'm like, what? Anything else? you
No, ultimate power.
You just screw your sister, not like that. Screw your friends, totally like that. And and he's just like, nah, power. Did you just no, just don't care about him, just at all, at all.
Yeah, pretty much.
Can I? I'm like, what was your relation to them before then? Like, were you just palling around?
He was you might not be familiar with this, but any tabletops will for sure. He was that guy.
What does that mean?
So whenever people in tabletops refer to like that guy, a good example is the thief that steals from the party.
Oh.
The thief or the assassin that tries to assassinate the party in the middle of the night for no fucking reason. Other than, I'm an assassin, that's what I do, that's what my character would do.
That guy is a good description then. Yep. I'm totally with it.
Yep.
Like, oh my gosh. Every time anything happened in the story, I was just like, but why though? Like, okay.
Why not?
Basically, I'm like, at one point in the story, you go to the Dreadnought, and I'm trying not to talk about mechanics here because I have something to talk about with the Dreadnought. You go to the Dreadnought or whatever, and you know they basically leave. Like, you try to get to Dreadnought, but they leave before you get onto it. I mean, not the time when, like, before when they landed, but I mean like when they're first like building the Dreadnought. Yeah. And the Dreadnought leaves, and it just bombs a bunch of towns, and I'm just like, why? Because they
were towns of the rebellion.
I mean, Palum and Poff didn't seem to be any of that though. They just seemed to kind of just be there.
That's how I took it, is they were supposed to be like towns that were like rebellion sympathizers or something like that.
Like, you can't.
Why did they destroy Alderaan in Star Wars?
Well, I thought that was just thing. That was just a slight against Leia. I don't know.
They also supported the rebellion.
Okay, fair enough. So, but like with that, I was just like, this is entirely unnecessary. Like, which is a running theme with the game, it feels like.
Yeah. Like I get, like I feel like the overarching theme, it's supposed to be, oh, war's bad, it causes devastation, war does a lot of horrible things to people and stuff, but.
And then let's go up north in our journey to the snow area. Do you remember that town's name?
No.
Well, whatever that town's name in the snow area up north. Then you gotta go rescue all those people, I guess miners or whatever. I guess they're supposed to be miners, and they're basically slave labor. You have to go rescue them, and then some dude named Joseph joins your party, who's alright. He's a pretty good like monk type or fighter type character, monk type character. Like he's like, you just remove any weapons from him, and he's actually really good with that.
Yeah, because for some reason unarmed was like extremely powerful.
I don't know why. And what bugged me here was that you go and get this guy. You rescue him, and then you go to his house, and you kind of recruit him to go so you can go get his sled. Basically, you recruit him into your party just for him to die 15 minutes later. Spoiler alert, I guess.
I mean, we're talking about the story. It should be obvious.
Well, yeah, it's just like, that crap just happens. Like, he just 15 minutes. You have 15 minutes with this character, and then it's just like, no, Joseph, and I'm just like, I just learned his name when you shouted no, Joseph. Like,
this is another thing of where, I mean, like, the story suffers mainly because it being an NES game and stuff like that. you have no time with these characters. You have no anything with these characters, and they're supposed to be dying left and right, and you're supposed to feel sad or something from the way the music plays and stuff like that. But all I can think of is, wow, I spent an hour with you. Gotta find a new party member. Good thing I unequipped everything off of you.
I will say
I unequipped everything off of them and just left them dead on the ground the entire time.
Okay, well, let me tell you, the Pixel Remaster, for anyone who is interested, it actually unequips all the items and puts it back in your thing, like in your inventory. Yes.
Oh, the whole like fourth party member dying is like one of two things I knew about the game going into it. That and the battle system. Or leveling system, I mean.
Right. Same difference. So I will say, like, with two of the characters I actually did care about, but that's for different reasons. I cared about Minwu because Minwu is basically you know how in every Fire Emblem there's a babysitter paladin at the beginning, like every single Fire Emblem in the first like 5 to 10 chapters, you always have a paladin. And that paladin is always way stronger than anything you'll encounter in those. That. Yeah, it's every Fire Emblem. And Minwu was basically that. He was the world's best white mage, basically.
Yeah.
It's like you get him, and he's not only like really strong. Period. All of his spells are like level like 7, like rank 7 already.
Yeah.
And it's just lovely. So I liked him a lot. The other person I cared about was Layla, and that was only because Pirate Lady, and I go Awooga basically. I
was gonna ask if is it because Pirate Lady.
Pirate Lady means eyes pop out head. Awooga, oh my goodness. Just Rickard was all right to me. Also, I was cool with Rickard, even though his stats were kind of bleh.
I do want to make a point. I didn't get Excalibur this time.
I didn't either. I have no idea where that even is. Would you like to tell me? Or do you have any idea?
Apparently you can go back to
go back to where?
Or something like that. I don't know how to pronounce it. Dazed, maybe? Dazed. Dragoon area, if I remember right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you can go back there and somehow get Excalibur. It's the treasured sword of the Dragoons this time.
I see.
It might have made going through the Jade Passage and Pandemonium easier.
Okay. I going through, it wouldn't be so difficult if they didn't just later. Let's we're gonna move past that. One thing I was sad about was when you get swallowed up by Leviathan, I was kind of wanting to see Leviathan instead of it just being a giant whirlpool, you know?
Yeah, you go through 3 doors and you're out.
Yeah, you go in there, you get Rickard, and then you fight a worm who's not really hard at all.
Peace.
And you just dip, like you're just gone.
You fight the worm. Peace. You just leave. All those people still trapped in there.
I was wondering, did you at least take those guys on your ship?
I don't think so.
Me neither. You can't go back to check. So
yeah, I think that they just live in a Leviathan now. They don't even live in a society. They just live in a Leviathan.
I mean, going by what they were saying, a lot of them, like most of them, have been there for a long time.
Yeah.
So, that was another one of those parts in the game that felt very patty. Like it was just because there was no like announcement of Leviathan. There was no thing that said this exists. There's no clue of it. It just sailed to the
cross. I assume you didn't either.
Not me neither. Like you just sail to a tower and then Leviathan swallows you. Like it just happens.
Yeah, like it. And I mean, it doesn't tack on a whole lot to the game, but still, it just There
leaves
could have been a
bad
more
taste.
organic way to get the airship.
Oh yeah,
You didn't need to blow set up, and you could have got the airship there.
I laughed at his death a little bit, if I'm being honest, just because like you kind of walk into a house, and then he just shows up like, "Hey, I made it back." Like it's like some Elder Scrolls level of just hey, watch it. Like he just kills over in front of you after apparently crawling out of Leviathan's maw and freaking to his house. And it's not like he crawled through the door. He just came in. He came in full sprint like, airship's yours. Blah. And I don't know. That was just so odd. It was out of nowhere.
You remember how like the game like tasks you with going to find the Ultima tome because it's the
my
ultimate.
god.
I never used Ultima.
I used it all the time actually. Did
I make the game harder for myself by not using Ultima?
No, you did not. No, you did not. It was a waste of time. Nope.
So more pointless Patty.
Yeah. No, see, because by that point in the game, every spell is nearly useless unless you have it at like level like 12, 13, something like that.
Magic's the only thing that levels consistently too.
Yeah, okay, I will get there is something to this game credit that I did want to bring up that I really love. And I said the same kind of a similar thing with the first one. So you know how like there's like actual sprites for different weapons.
Yeah.
Like if you're using a broadsword looks different from a longsword or a knife or anything like that.
Yeah.
I will say what I really did like watching was whenever you with your spells, almost every rank, not every single one, but almost every rank, your spells did look a little different. I like that. I like that it kind of evolved because like I used Holy. I used Holy like a lot as well. And Holy starts out as just like it's like a space laser basically. Like it just pew, and it hits for like 20 damage. But I got it to like rank like 9 and it became like almost an orbital laser thing that just like destroys the ground underneath it wherever you fire it at.
I think my highest attack spell was probably around like level 5 or 6 by the time I beat the game.
That's fair. That is very fair.
Because I hit a certain point of the game and the only magic that was doing anything was like my cure and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, okay, I'm done with attack magic now.
I was honestly using a lot of magic because I was trying to understand how the heck to level up intellect, which I still haven't really figured out because I used the staff, I used robes, and it was like sometimes my intellect would go up, but
I think
a lot of times it was just HP.
Well, this is a little bit more mechanic-wise, but the thing is your stats from what I was looking up because I noticed I wasn't consistently getting XP. It's the everything. It has a chance of gaining XP when it's used.
Oh.
Yeah, that was my biggest issue with the leveling system was it was a chance to get XP. You can swing your sword 1,000 times and only one of those might give you XP.
Mm-hmm.
XP should not be on RNG.
100%. 100%, yeah.
And I could be wrong. The stuff that I found could be lying to me. It could be such minimal XP at a certain level that it just kind of doesn't reflect showing up. But I got to a point in the game where unless it was a boss battle or something I knew I could grind a little bit of XP off of because of how long it would take to kill through melee attacks, I just ran from battle.
Right.
I think it was around... I know it was a little bit before... What's the place before the Pandemonium? Jade Passage or something like that?
Are you? Oh yeah. Jade Passage. Yeah.
It was a little bit before the Jade Passage, I'm like, I'm done with battles.
I get that. I understand that. I completely understand that.
It's just when even the most basic dungeon is 30 floors and you have no way to freaking restore any of your HP or mana without having to, use elixirs and stuff like that, which are very, very few and far between
Yeah.
early game.
Yeah.
It just and then even whenever you're getting ethers, it only gives you like what, 10 to 30 MP or something like that.
It's
and then,
20.
Yeah,
it's
and then
so bad.
at the higher levels, it's pointless.
Yeah, because for the record, anyone who might be watching this, whenever you use magic, your magic has like a rank one through I think the max is 15. I'm not sure.
It is 15 or 16,
something like that. But every rank basically is how much MP you also use. So when you're at rank 1, yeah, ether is good because that will restore 20 MP. But if you're using magic that's like rank 10, if you use a magic that's like rank, like me, I had magic that was like rank 10, so I was using 10 MP, so it's like, oh good, I get 2 casts of something that barely does any damage anyway. Right. Lovely.
Yeah.
That was one of the reasons why I was trying to level up intellect, by the way, was because no matter how high my magic got, the highest amount of damage it would do is around like 300 to 400.
Yeah, I got to a certain point with like even trying to level up how much MP my healer had. Like it was a pain because if I wanted to do that, I had to do it in combat, because if you use MP outside of combat, guess what doesn't get XP? You get no XP for healing. Well, you get XP for the cure spell, but not for your MP that you're using, which you need to level up your MP to have more MP.
No.
I want to enjoy the system because it makes sense, but I feel like it was severely screwed over because of it being an NES game and then being kind of experimental with it. But the Pixel remaster would have been the perfect opportunity to fix those issues. They're already fixing glitches and stuff like that, so you're not going to have the quote authentic experience from the NES. So like, why not fix those types of issues? Maybe, increase the XP needed to level up something and make sure you get it every time so that you're actually making some freaking progress.
There's no consistent way to make a black mage, like, or a white, or any kind of mage, really. Like, you just have to hope that you can get the stat bonuses.
Yeah, and if you want to level your MP as a freaking white mage, or even a black mage or anything, you kind of, quite literally, you have to you have to hope the enemy won't run away, which a lot of them love to freaking do all the time. And then you just have to put the other people on defend while you use that spell over and over and over, using your MP and stuff like that. And don't make the mistake of doing that in the middle of a dungeon, or you're screwed.
Yeah.
Like,
can I just make sure it's clear? Yeah, we're not talking about story anymore. I mean, at this point, you can just talk about whatever.
Yeah,
I just wanted a starting point, is all.
It's mostly the dungeons, that and the leveling system. Like, those are two things that really killed it for me. The dungeons don't really look that good, and they go on for way too freaking long. They could have cut several of the dungeons in half, and it still would have went on too long.
Yeah.
Like, why do I need to go through, what was it? The Jade Passage, like 8 floors of the Jade Passage, and then like 13 floors of Pandemonium?
Yeah. It was it was not nice with that. Pandemonium itself, like, all the floors are already huge, like, on their own, and then you have to go through. I think it's like I don't remember. It's a lot of floors.
And some of the floors are technically pointless to the, like, where it quite literally is just a weird, like, visual puzzle of find the passage through this wall so you can get this treasure. but the way off of the floor is immediately right there. And
know
me with my little freaking treasure goblin brain is all like, I need more.
Okay.
No treasure left behind.
You know what? Oh, jeez. You know, the funny thing about all the complaints with the dungeons is that we honestly had it easy. We had a map. we had maps. There's you remember that one spot in Pandemonium where it's just a labyrinth like for no reason. The only reason that didn't like completely break me was just because we had a map. Because you can look at your map and go like, oh, okay, I just gotta go this way and then this and then okay, this is the route.
Yeah,
that was it. But people who played the original game did not have that. So that means these people just had to feel their way through that stupid labyrinth. I can't imagine. There are too many, like I would say about 60% of the way through the game, there are too many enemy setups that will stun lock you to death if you aren't watching that. Which I thought that might have just been like, okay, maybe it'll just happen in this area. No, this is just a thing now that you have to worry about. Like,
oh yeah, because they're freaking everywhere. Like the plants that will stun you and turn you against the party, mixed in with the freaking oh, what was that one enemy? I think it was like a Corel or something like that.
Oh,
that
yeah.
Even if it does zero damage, dead.
Oh, yep. Yep. And trust me, they did zero damage a lot of the times.
Yep.
And still, it was just my party killing itself the whole time.
Yeah, pretty much.
It was so it was like the most toxic thing ever. I died.
There's a reason I started running from most of the fights. They were pointless. They didn't get me any XP, and more times than not, it was insta kill unless I managed to run away real fast.
That leveling was so weird. Like there were just times where the bar would stop. Honestly, near the beginning of the game, like around I would say about 2-3 hours in, for whatever reason, nothing was leveling past rank 3. None of my weapon skills were leveling past rank 3. So I honest to God thought, oh, maybe that's just the max for all weapon skills, which is weird. So I just started swapping weapons out for everybody.
For me, what it was is, I don't know why I thought this, but I'm like, okay, well, I guess they introduced like a weird soft cap thing unless you get to a certain point in the story. And then after like 2 or 3 hours of playing and still not getting any XP, that's whenever I'm like, okay, I'm looking this up. And that's whenever I found out that you just sometimes don't get XP. And apparently the higher your, like, this is purely a guess on my end, but I feel like the higher weapon skill, like obviously you need more XP to level it, but apparently your chances of getting XP are even lower on top of needing more. Like something does not feel right.
It really doesn't. And I would actually be willing to agree with you on that because I was seeing the same thing. Because after I realized that the weapons were still leveling, I just started to like, hey, I'm just gonna let everyone use this one thing this whole time. And so like at one point, so I had Maria become a monk. Even though that was probably the worst choice for my party for that. Did it because for whatever reason, after a while, her HP just started to skyrocket. I don't really know why.
Yeah, originally, I think it was on the NES and maybe the Game Boy. From my understanding, the XP would, or not XP, the HP would level as you get hit. But I was getting into battles, not getting hit, and still gaining HP, and so I don't know.
Same thing for me. Like a lot of the times after a while, I had to like plan around making sure that I defeated everything in one go or in one turn. I did not want to deal with being paralyzed to death. Like so that everything was planned. Like to the point where I think both of us did this, where we just had to. Did you farm Basuna up just so you could actually fend off against those kind of status effects?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I had to for everyone. I just farmed up the Basuna spell to rank. I think 5 is where it is able to erase paralysis for the entire party. Which I would like to say, I didn't realize that you could do group casts for those until like 70% through the game.
Yeah, it was nice whenever I
Yeah.
realized. The only really though, the only thing I did it on was the occasional Basuna, and then well, I tried doing it with Kier, but I kept noticing that with Kier it was pointless to do a group cast. He healed so little. You would still like my cure, like I said, I think it was like level somewhere between 10 and 13 by the time I beat the game. It would heal over 1,000 individually, but maybe 100, 200 for group cast.
I was at rank 8 on my cures. Or no. I was ranked 9 and 10 on my cures. And they did about 130 or so when I group casted it. So yeah, you were 100% right on that. And I even
I was just gonna say, it's another thing that like it felt like they could have fixed it, but never seemed to.
I feel like that when you do remaster stuff, you have to choose what to really like go over, because even the stuff that we think is bad, there's always gonna be a bunch, like a niche group of people who are like actually I kind of like the weapon proficiency thing in Final Fantasy 2. There's always gonna be those people. There are a lot of people who will defend the heck out of the game, and it's just I suppose it might not be a good idea to completely remove a mechanic like that, no matter how asinine it is.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. Like it feels like it would have been a nice quality of life change, but I can see why some people would argue against it, because then if you're healing too close to how much it would be, like, oh well, let's just spend 10 XP and restore 1,000 health across everybody. Yeah, that would be a little broken, but I don't know.
So
there's got to be some balance somewhere, because only getting 100 XP for that's 400 XP. Like, or not XP, HP. I keep saying XP whenever I mean HP.
I was auto-correcting it in my mind, so
I was too, and I just realized. But yeah, like I don't know. Maybe if I caught all the numbers and added it up and everything, it might equal out. I don't think it equaled out to 1,000 across the board.
No, it did not. I could tell you right now, no, it did not. I made sure I did the math. No, it did not. It does not equal out at all.
Yeah, so if they even like made it to where, okay, well you restore 1,000 of it, there's 4 party members, let's divvy it up 4 times, or 4, like divide it by 4, and
everybody gets 250 or something. Yeah, that would make sense. But it was random, and it was like super, like it wasn't even like kind of weak. No, it was way weaker.
Like I said, there's got to be a good middle ground somewhere.
Yeah, 100%. Like, oh, speaking of broken, I had to ask. Did you did bosses stop being bosses basically like halfway through the game for you?
All the way up until the final emperor.
Okay, like there was like 1 or 2 that I had trouble with, and I can't remember who they are. Because
the final emperor, I more or less took care of the same way I took care of chaos.
Oh, final emperor was so easy to me. I did it. I think I did it in like 4 or 5 turns. Monk is ridiculous. By the end of it, I had 2 monks.
Yeah, I stuck with my guns, and I'm like, I don't want to level fist separate, and like kept my weapons, even though I knew like if I just leveled up the fist, it would be a lot stronger. I just don't want to put the time in. I'm at a certain point, I'm just like, I need to beat the game. I can't do any more of this. I need to beat it just so I can, move on.
Like normally I'm not the type to cheap out games. I can't stand winning by cheap methods. It makes it not fun for me. But I was also, my patience with the game, like I was cool with just 1 monk, like because I like running monks in general. But like my patience with the game was wearing so thin, especially because I still kept getting stun locked to death, or confused to death, or like, oh my gosh, when you
Status
freaking
effect here to death.
oh my god, the enemy setup that's just 4 greater Malboros. What is that? If
Funny
you don't
thing,
kill,
if I remember right, this is the Malboro's first appearance.
oh yeah, that it is, and I was like, oh cool, Malboro. Like, oh cool, it's a cigarette.
Yeah. It's like, oh hey, here's an iconic enemy. Oh god, I hate this enemy. I forgot
Yeah.
that I hate this enemy.
Yeah, and like 'cause the first time I saw it, I was just like, oh cool, it's a Mal. Wait a minute.
Like, I can guarantee
I'm not gonna
you,
get it.
I can guarantee you, the first experience with the Tonberry, I'm gonna have that. Even though right now, I am fully aware of it. I'm gonna see a Tonberry in an upcoming game. I'm gonna get super excited that it's a Tonberry, and
it's
then I'm
gonna
gonna remember
knife
why
you.
I hate Tonberries.
It's gonna knife you to death immediately. Did I'm did we fight the Black Knight or the Dark Knight at all? I don't remember. Dude, I don't remember fighting him. I think like we were about to, and then something happened. Like I think
I'm
came back
pretty
and was
sure
just
we
like,
were getting ready to fight Leon, and then the Emperor is all like, I'm back from hell.
yeah.
And you're just kind of like, what? What do you mean back from hell? I am Satan now.
I was just like, what? Like, oh,
Okay, I unintentionally lied. I forgot until just now. I did know about that part before where the Emperor comes back. And even knowing that, it's still just a... What? What do you mean the Emperor's back from hell? How...
It was 0 to 100. What the heck? Like, I don't. Oh my god! Since I'm allowed to say this now, we need to talk about the Dreadnought. I need to talk. Did you? Maybe you did. Maybe you made the same mistake I did, sir. Okay, can I? First of all, so I guess the Emperor being Mr. Stan, I guess makes this a little more sensible, because it never made sense to me why everywhere that the Imperial army was just chilling out was just full of monsters, and I was just like, what? What?
From my understanding, I think the Emperor had something to do with like being able to control monsters or something like that. I feel like they mentioned it like very early into the game, because whenever your party mentioned something about going back to oh crap, what's the town?
Excuse me.
The town at the very beginning, the like opening town.
Yeah, Altair. Are you talking about Altair, the place where the Resistance shacked up for a while, or Finn, which is the place, which is the castle that they? Okay.
Yeah, whenever you they talk about going back to Finn or whatever, I think it might be one of the side NPCs that you can just walk by. They said something about like they hear the streets of Finn are roaming around with monsters now too, and something else.
Oh, I will say I felt nice going into Finn and actually killing those guys that are just like, okay. Every time you talk to them.
Yeah.
I was sad that they didn't disappear though when you beat them.
Right. I wanted to clear out the city, and then it's all like, no, you can't do that. I'm like, aw.
Yeah, seriously. It was like they killed me a couple times because I kept going back like, hey, am I strong enough to fight you guys yet? Nope. Game over. How about now? Nope. Game over.
I do like how you can essentially wander the entire map from the beginning of the game, outside of a couple of locations and everything.
Although a couple of those places will.
I really did not expect very early into the actual game to just walk out of town, walk across the bridge, go to the other side of the fort. I'm dead.
Yeah, that happened to me too. Twice actually. I fought one of those land turtles, and you don't do damage at the beginning of the game to those at all.
Yeah.
So
funny thing, that's how I leveled a lot of my weapon skills to like 10. I think it was the turtles.
Oh, I didn't think to do that at all.
Yeah, because they were the only things that gave me XP. And then
Oh.
after a while, they quit giving me XP, and I got XP from nothing.
Oh,
Not even
okay.
bosses.
Oh, okay. Oh God.
That's the
RPG
main
that
reason.
doesn't give you RPG stuff. Gotcha.
That's the reason why I have an issue with the leveling system, is because even bosses, I wasn't getting XP.
It was so weird. Like, okay, so it was like I was annoyed that I wasn't leveling up, but at the same time, it was like I'm also just dumpstering anything that isn't status affecting me to death.
Right.
So it's like I don't even know how to feel at this point. Like, to the point the moment I got to the Emperor, I was just like, I was ready, and it's like, because like my cures did enough to deal with him. My basunas were all leveled up and all that, so I didn't have to deal, like, status effects weren't a problem to me at all. Just my monks went to town on him. I still used Ultima for no reason, just because I wanted to see if it did anything, and I just thought it would do some like bonus damage to him or something, but no. So it, like, the whole thing of getting the Ultima tome just literally didn't matter at all.
There was so much of it that it was pointless, or they added like one event that made the thing, quote, not pointless, like going and getting the Wyverns.
Oh yeah.
Just so you could go into the freaking Cyclone.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I was almost thinking, I for a second I thought you would be able to fly a Wyvern instead of a
that would have been cool.
Airship.
That would have made Wyverns worth it, in my opinion.
By the way, did you know you could use the Wyvern in battle? I didn't know that until I fought the Emperor. Yeah, the Wyvern's in your inventory. You can use them. He casts like Fire 8 or something like that. I don't remember.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so and I can assure you it does no damage. No, we need to. No, I need to circle back. We Dreadnought right now. Oh my God! I actually, Kirin, I'm not joking. I was actually 5 seconds away from telling you, yeah, we're not doing this. we're actually, this Final Fantasy 2, we're not doing this. Like, or if we are, we're just gonna do it where I've only played half the game, because here's what happened to me, and maybe it happened to you. I went to go blow up the engine, but you have to go rescue the princess first. I found out, so I went. So I need you to understand. I ran. Then. Yeah, I ran all the way down. I
happened to come across the princess.
Yeah, edit that out.
I had no idea where to go. I had no idea where to go, and I just happened to come across the princess. I'm like, oh yeah, she's here.
Like, I had to run all the way down there. I fought a bunch of Gyguses, the giant ogre looking dudes.
Another enemy I hated fighting. Not because they were strong or anything, but because just sometimes you just wouldn't do damage to them.
Yeah, that happened a lot, and that happened a lot on the Dreadnought. Rhymes. Anyway, and even I'm sure you found it, the booby trap chest that ends up making you fight, like, I think 2 of them or something like that.
Probably.
Well, one of them is you open it as monsters, and it put me in a match against 2 of them. I can't do damage to them unless I two-handed whatever I had in my inventory.
You can two-hand weapons.
Whenever you don't have like whenever you have like only one weapon equipped and no like shield or any other weapon in your other hand.
Oh.
You're automatically two-handing, and so you do more damage. That was the only way I could do damage to them.
I just dual-wielded every weapon.
Fair enough. It's not like it mattered.
Right. Like, I think Furion, he had a sword and a dagger.
Mm-hmm.
Maria had a staff and I think it was a spear.
Mm.
And then Guy had, I think it was just an axe and a shield, until I got tired of the shield, and then I just put 2 axes on him.
Oh, yeah, that works for him. He's kind of a berserker anyway.
Yeah.
So I had to fight all those Gyguses.
Party member was on the floor the entire time, even after I got Leon.
Sounds about right.
I kept Leon alive a little bit during the Emperor fight because he was good cannon fodder.
I kept everyone alive just fine. It was
just didn't try. with the fourth character.
That's fair because they always had like stats or whatever that were negligible.
Because they kept changing out, and like the game, unlike some JRPGs in the future, they just never leveled up with you.
Yeah.
Which, you know,
okay.
Again, NES game.
I must insist that I tell you this. You know what? You can edit this out too, because I have to say it. This fuckery with the Dreadnought. I go all the way down there and I need you to understand, I was quite weak towards those Gygases. Mm-hmm. I just barely escaped with them or fought through them, and every once in a while I got lucky and one of them fled. I used so many potions that I didn't have like a lot of gil at this point in the game, because I didn't care to, I didn't think to, or no, I had a lot of gil, I just didn't care to like buy potions. I didn't think about it, if I'm being honest. That's my fault. My bad.
I had so much freaking gil by the end of the game because I quit buying things. There was no gear that I could upgrade. The potions did nothing. Freaking ethers did nothing. Like, I bought a handful of, I think it was elixirs before I went into the Jade Passage.
Yeah, same.
Halfway through Pandemonium, ran out of elixirs, healer died, no Phoenix Downs, and Maria was the only one that had life on her.
Oh, God.
I was stupid and did not put life on multiple people. I should have.
From the start, everyone had cure, everyone had life. That would have been smarter. That was the one thing I made sure of everyone had.
I think Furion had cure.
I leveled up everybody's cure, like, and that was kind of by design. Before I was just kind of doing it like half-heartedly, but I started to realize, oh man, you know what? These cures aren't really doing much of anything. So if I get into something actually bad, like and people start dying, I'm gonna need everyone to be able to do this. So
right,
like as I was battling through those long dungeons, I kept setting one person to just be curing the whole time. And
really?
And yeah, and that kind of worked out because this didn't happen with the ones that did status effects. Let me make sure that's clear. When it was a status effect battle, no, it's batten down the hatches time.
Yeah, for me, like I said, I didn't think about it. I quite literally, like, whenever I was doing the auto battle stuff, it was quite literally everyone is just on attack, and it more or less one-shotted everything.
Usually that was the case for me, but it's like every once in a while you'll come across certain enemies that they need to die immediately. Like the the vampire queen, right? So for whatever reason, I don't know what was happening here. Maybe you know. So whenever it attacks, it siphons life from you, and that's understandable. What was weird was it'll do like regular negligible damage to me. Like it'll do like 100 damage to me, and I'm just like, okay, that's whatever. But every once in a while, for no reason at all, it was either the vampire queen or it was like these weird little jellyfish things that have like an eye on top of it or something.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I can't think of the name.
They would just do like 1,200 damage for no reason, and I'm just like, why? What was that? What?
I don't remember that, to be honest, but I feel like I've blocked a majority of the game out of my mind.
Sir.
It's not even been like a month, and like I feel like it's one of those like deep memories that's gonna come back and haunt me in a few years.
New core memory added. like, oh my god. No, circling back, Dreadnought.
Oh god.
I get to the engine. It goes, we should save Hilda first. And I'm just like, no. My party's almost dead. I can't do this. No, we should save Hilda first. Okay. So I venture back up, still fighting Gigases, no potions. So I'm relying on the
you didn't have a return
cures.
spell, did you?
No. See, Everyone had a return, had the little warp and had both warp and teleport, because I didn't know if there was a difference really, or there was, but warp goes up one floor while teleport goes out of the dungeon. Here's the thing: the Dreadnought's not considered a dungeon at all.
What?
So I had to walk back at the entrance of the Dreadnought. After I realized I had to venture back out, and I couldn't warp out of it. My next plan was to just leave the dungeon, set up a cottage, and then go back in. The Dark Knight is at the entrance for some reason, and so I was forced to continue on my way to go all the way up and rescue Hilda, and then go all the way back down to the engine and blow it up. And now, I just want you to know that happened, and I was actually like 20 seconds, like 5, 10, 20 seconds away from messaging you. I had actually typed out the whole message saying, no, I'm not finishing Final Fantasy 2. This isn't happening.
In all honesty, I would not have blamed you, because even though it was right at the end of the game, the Jade Passage and freaking going right into the
Pandemonium.
Yeah, it just I swore to myself, I'm like, if this is not the end of the game, this is the end of the game for me.
Oh,
like no matter what, this is the end.
Anyone who's listening,
if they would have added just a little room where you could have used a cottage or something between them, it would have been so much better. But no.
You know what's wacky? You know what's funny?
And before someone comments, you could have used a cottage at this point.
God, dude, I was so mad that let me make it clear on how angry I was with the Dreadnought. I got so mad at how unfair the game was. I went, hey, you know what I should go and play instead? Freaking Bloodborne. That'll make me less mad. Guess what? It worked. You wanna know why? Because to me, Bloodborne's fair. Man, Minmu died for us to get the Ultimate Tome. Can I just point that out?
Did he? I don't remember.
When you go to the tower, he I don't know what happens exactly. I don't remember what happened exactly. Some laser comes out and he takes the hit or something. I don't know. When you try to open the door to get the tome, was that what happened?
I really don't remember.
I'm sorry. I just did it like last week, and I'm already.
I'm telling you, man.
Everything.
Final Fantasy 2 is gonna be one of those things where you just kind of, years later, just pops back into your head. Why did everyone
in your party, why did every fourth character besides Minwu have to be so freaking useless? They were all like. I even went to their stats to check. Everyone was just so massively under level from you. It was. And I need to make sure it's clear that I didn't start really doing any kind of grinding until I was trying to level up Basuna. That was the only time when I started really grinding. Other than that, I just fought whatever came my way. Whatever popped up in front of me, I would fight it or at least try to. Although every once in a while I would just be like, nope, fleeing, nope, can't do it, nope. Oh, how'd you like the 1,000,001 doors that lead to an empty room? How'd you enjoy that?
I was waiting for a moment to mention it. It's so bad. Why?
Every dungeon.
Again, it's one of those things that quite literally it feels like padding. It feels pointless.
Yeah, that is for me personally. Nowadays, that's a really big grate on my mind. I can't stand games that waste your time, and I don't mean I don't know, say an Ubisoft Follow Quest, which that is time wasting, but I can kind of deal with that. I mean, when they put in just certain mechanics like the weapon progression system that are just there to just in very subtle ways elongate your entire experience, because of the weapon system, you would either unless you were going fisticuffs, you would either be stuck with one weapon for years, unless they're swords, because there was no shortage of those, or you either get stuck with one weapon for years that didn't really get much more powerful, so you had to rely on your proficiency to give you all the power, or B, you would swap out to other weapons, which started out very weak because your proficiency was so low. This is so unnecessary. This is I understand what you're doing, but it is so unnecessary, and it really bothers me because we're both coming from Final Fantasy 1, where there wasn't really it was kind of bare bones to some extent, in my opinion. Like, that's at least that's how I would see it.
Yeah,
it was simple,
bare, but it was nice.
Like, fire just went to Fira and Faraga. That was it. Like, it wasn't like rank 1 through 15, and like, the entire experience with the game just was it just felt like a padded mess. One of the few
games where I feel like they did a good thing by kind of going back closer to the basics. But just for a little bit of emphasis on my what I mean by screw the empty rooms, on my notes here: dungeons too long, feels like padding. Seriously, F these empty rooms. Like, here's the thing: there was quite a bit of time between those. And then right underneath it, why does Guy speak Beaver?
Oh yeah, that was also another thing that was like odd to me.
I guess feel like that was done just mostly for comedic effect, which that's fine, but why? That's like the first time Guy speaks and he's, oh, me speak Beaver. Why?
I don't. At that point, I was just like, how do you guys know each other exactly? Like,
well, Furion, Maria, and Leon were. Maria was Leon's sister. Furion and Leon were knights and rivals of each other. I don't know where Guy came from. I think he was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Okay.
I could be wrong. There could be some line explaining it, and I just blocked it out of my memory like most of the game.
Like, okay, I will say, at least, I'm launching this because there's a picture I want to bring up real quick, just for the heck of it. I was very confused on why Guy spoke like that in general. And then I saw the concept art of Guy and how he's supposed to look.
I'm pretty sure he's supposed to be like a wilderness man raised by wolves or something like that.
Basically, because here, look, okay. And also, by the way, I didn't realize that the purple on Maria's head was not her hair.
Wait, that's not her hair?
If you look at the pictures, it's like she has like a shawl on.
I just thought, Japanese game. Oh, purple hair. Okay, that makes sense. Like
me too. Let me.
Being a shawl makes less sense to me, which is kind of amazing.
Like, there's that.
That's supposed to be Guy.
Yeah, that's supposed to be Guy.
He's quite literally a barbarian.
Yeah, exactly. But there's one more thing I need to point out, which is very strange with the I guess the concept art of this game. Let me see if I find it. Here it is. It's like a movie poster looking thing. Would you like to make sure you put at least this bit in the video? Would you like to show the class what the hell is in Guy's hand?
What?
Why
does Guy have a gun?
Guy just has a whole gat. He's just. Oh my God. I'm trying not to cuss. I don't want Kirin to make me do the.
I didn't make you do the editing last time because you were cussing too much. My files got broken.
I will
now
say
I have to leave this part in.
I will say that I love the title card yet again. This time it is of the Emperor. It is a person that is actually in the game this time, and I think I don't. The art style it's weird, but it's like I kind of love it. It's just odd. but
Is it
it's
of the Emperor this
cool.
time?
His eyes look like that of like a bug's or something, like a gecko or something, or not bug, but like a reptile or something. To me, I
I
don't.
guess that
Or
is possibly the Emperor.
oh no, that's. I mean, that is legit just the Emperor. That is like in the files. It's right here. It says Palamecian Emperor, and that and
Oh,
that and
okay. That's
yep.
cool.
Did you fight Beelzebub?
Maybe?
Did okay, because in Pandemonium, I think it's one floor. I think it might be no. It's the same floor as that big labyrinth area that I was talking about, like way before.
Like, was he in one of the chests?
Yeah, you open a
Yeah.
chest and he's in it, and it's
Yeah. I fought him.
he
then.
was someone I actually had trouble with because
He
for
was
whatever
another
reason,
one that I just put on auto attack.
everyone
Like, whenever I say all the bosses, I mean like all except for the Emperor, I hit auto battle and just
Yeah.
walked away.
I understand. um,
There was no
well,
threat.
anybody who was like resilient, like physically, and they were kind of people that you probably like they were trying to get you to use magic on. I had trouble with those people. If they were kind of a boss that was weak to magic but strong against physical attacks, I had trouble. And so yeah, I just wanted to point out that the art for Final Fantasy 2 is still kind of dope, even if it's so weird on the eyes, but it's just really interesting as well. Like I don't know, it's an art style that I can kind of respect, I guess. Why is Leon even there? The man was present for like the last like 30 minutes of the game.
I genuinely don't know. Like,
All right, I'm
like
closing this.
what was even the point of him coming back?
It really that was my whole thing with the power thing.
He was evil. He was evil. He was fully willing to take the Emperor's place until the Emperor is like, "No, I'm back from hell. Thanks for keeping my throne warm." And then he's like, "I never forgive you, Emperor." Like, he was evil the whole time.
Can I say to Hilda's credit, to Princess Hilda's credit, both her and Gordon were like, "Yeah, no, get Leon out of here. Get this guy out of here." And then Furion and Marie were like, "Wait, no, wait, he has changed." Or no, it wasn't that. It was more like they were more like, no, we'll watch him, but we're still gonna bring him with us to fight the Emperor, which is a wacky idea. Obviously, it worked out fine, but it's still a wacky idea. This guy who was like the Emperor's right hand man. Just all of a sudden, you just kind of you're just like, yeah, let's bring him back, and he's not gonna betray us at all. It's not gonna happen.
See, here's the thing. With them essentially like rebooting, remaking, whatever you want to call it, Final Fantasy 1 with what is it?
Ranger of Paradise?
Yeah.
Chaos.
I was gonna make that joke. But like I feel like I really feel like it would have been better for them to redo 2.
Oh yeah. 100%.
Because I really do feel like 2 could have been really good. I feel like it being an NES game is what held it back. I like all the limitations and stuff. I would love to go do the GBA version, the Lost Soul or whatever.
Oh yeah.
But
I do wish they had
I know
included.
every issue I have with Final Fantasy 2 as it stands is still prevalent in that version. Like 100%, it is still there.
I wonder if they're going to like do more of the Strange of Paradise stuff. If
they just did 1 and 2, it would be perfect.
I'm sure there's more to complain about with the game, but I think I've tapped out on mine.
Pretty much. Like I said, game's gonna be negative. Or game review.
Video.
Talk
Video
about
review.
Yeah.
I have Nothing else to add. I'm excited for Final Fantasy 3 still because you gotta take the good with the bad and all that stuff.
Yeah,